Hello, I'm Senator Dick Durbin. Welcome to my Capitol Report, A Different View. Let's talk for a moment about food in Chicago. Everybody's got an opinion. Their favorite place, the best place for a hot dog, the best place for an Italian beef, the best place for pizza. Everybody's got their favorites, and it goes right on up the chain to the five-star restaurants. Some of the best restaurants in America, the best food in America in Chicago. And thank goodness for those of us who work in Washington, D.C., a lot of that food's finding its way out to Washington, where we can take advantage of it during the course of a business week. Well, one of the most legendary eating places in Chicago is the Billy Goat. The Billy Goat is the best. And of course, it's legendary. It's legendary because we remember, those of us old enough, the early days of Saturday Night Live. John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, and the whole gang recreating the Billy Goat right there on the set of Saturday Night Live. And people all across America listened to it and said, what are they talking about? Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, no fries, chips, chips, chips. We knew what it was. We knew it was part of a legendary restaurant, tavern, then restaurant, in the city of Chicago that had a great, great story. Now it's here on Capitol Hill, in the shadow of the United States Capitol. Not only 8 Billy Goat restaurants and taverns in Chicagoland, but one right here in our nation's capital. Fletch Williams, good to be with you today.
Very nice to be here, sir. Thank you very much.
And you're the manager of this great establishment?
I am, sir.
Well, then tell us a little bit first about the history for the handful of people left who don't know the story of the Billy Goat.
Well, the Billy Goat started in 1934 in Chicago by Bill Cianis. And it's kind of funny how it's got its name. The stockyards in Chicago, they used to bring the animals and stuff by. When it first opened, it was open for about just a few weeks, and it was called the Lincoln Tavern. And then one of the goats had actually fallen off a truck, and the goat ended up in front of Billy Goat's, and Billy Goat took the goat in as a pet, became best friends, and that's when he changed the name to Billy Goat's Tavern.
Now, at that time, it wasn't downtown.
No, it was next. It was next to the. It was right next to the arena.
Yeah, where the United Center is today.
Absolutely.
And so eventually it moved downtown, but there it was, Billy Goat, Cianis's Billy Goat Tavern. Right. And then you got mixed up with baseball. Yeah,
the baseball was in 1945. Billy Goat bought some tickets to go to the series, and
the Cubs World Series.
The Chicago Cubs. And back then, everybody, Wrigley had Wrigley Gum, and Billy Goat, everybody knew everybody, and everybody was friends with everybody. Well, he bought a ticket for the goat to go to the game. And Wrigley said, well, Billy Goat can come to the game, but the goat can't because the goat stinks. At that point in time, Billy Goat had put a curse on the Cubs, said you'll never win the World Series again until you let my goat into the thing. So that was the curse of the Billy. It's the only living curse today in America.
And now Mike Royko, when they moved it downtown underneath Michigan Avenue, Mike Royko, as a columnist and reporter in Chicago, kept telling the story of the Billy Goat and the Cubs. So a lot of people learned about it that way.
Mike Royko was one of the most famous columnists in the world, and he loved Billy Goats. He went in Billy Goats every single day. And he was a friend of the families, friend of the, and he went in every single, and he's the one that basically put the curse out. He was like in 600 newspapers. He's the one that basically put the curse all over the world, so everyone found out about the curse of the Billy Goat.
And Belushi from Saturday Night Live grows up in the Chicago area. He goes to Billy Goat's, and he decides as a routine they're going to create something they called the Olympia Tavern or something on Saturday Night Live that was supposed to be a takeoff on Billy Goat's, right?
Exactly. What happened was, well, they worked at the Comedy Club, Second City. And they used to come to Billy Goat's every day before they went on at night. And they became friends, and they'd come in. And have you ever been in Billy Goat's when there's a long line, there's a guy going cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger. Well, after they became famous, they decided to shoot the skit. And it was about the Billy Goats on Saturday Night Live. And that became very famous. And there's some memorabilia on the wall I can show you. There's Belushi said all the best for the crew at Billy Goat's, and they were all good friends, and that's basically how it became famous.
How in the world did this famous pub and tavern leave Chicago and make it out here to Capitol Hill?
Well, it's kind of funny because one of the Billy Goats they'd been underneath the Realtor building for 44 years. And when the realtors purchased this building, they said, well, listen, we want to go to Billy Goat's for lunch. So the realtor said, hey, look, Billy and Sam, you guys, we're going to go to Washington. You have to come to Washington. And basically, that's how Billy Goat's ended up here. It's because of the realtors in Chicago.
You've been here, what, 7 years on the Hill?
7 years, absolutely.
7 years on the Hill. And let me just say one thing. You do serve French fries here.
We do. No fries, chips, but no chips, fries, but in this one we do have fries.
Now, one of the other things you have going for you across the street is Georgetown Law School.
Absolutely.
I hope some of these law students have found this place.
Actually, we actually have a couple law students that actually work for us, and on the weekends.
Tough as times are for lawyers, maybe this is a good thing. Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad things are working out. And do you get a lot of folks who are from Chicago or Chicago roots or know about Billy Goat back in Chicago?
We actually have a big Chicago base. On Sundays, we serve, when the Bears play, we have Chicago Bear football only. We have the Chicago Bears on all 4 televisions. They come in, they sing Bear Down, Chicago Bear. They go out and do the little dance around the place. It's a lot of fun. We do have a lot of people from Chicago, but we got people from all over the world coming in as well.
That's great. So a lot of these folks from Chicago, when they come in here, what are they looking for?
When they come in, a lot of them like to bust my chops when they come in, but they always come in, it's cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. They get the double cheese, double fries. But they, it's pretty funny because everybody that comes in here, you go to all the Billy Goats in Chicago, and there's always a guy standing right in front of you. Go, what do you have? What do you have? What do you have? And the guy's going, cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. You say, like, I want a chicken sandwich. The guy looks at you like you're crazy. But so they like to see that too. But most of the people that come in order the cheeseburgers.
That's great. Get a bigger crowd when the Cubs play in Washington?
Well, we start off every year. It's funny you say that. We start off big with the Cubs.
Oh, no.
But as the season goes on,
I kind of know this story.
Yeah. Like when I think they were 96 games out last year, the crowd wasn't as big. But we started off. We usually start off every year with the big. Going into the Cubs thing, we start off with a big thing, but unfortunately, the last couple of years hasn't.
Well, as we're taping this program, good news for Cubs fans. Ron Santo made the Hall of Fame today.
Oh.
The committee finally chose him. I wish they'd have done it years ago while he was still around to appreciate it, but great guy, and I'll bet you he was in Billy Goat's 1 or 2 times himself.
I'm sure he had a couple in there.
Well, we ought to take a look around here while we're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. So, Fletch, you can probably hear the French fries going in the background. They're making some cheeseburgers back here. The first thing that anybody who's been to the original Billy Goats will recognize is you're not hidden dark under a highway. You got the big windows here. You can see all around here, Georgetown Law School and all these buildings around here, which makes it a much different atmosphere. But you got plenty of room here to make a lot of hamburgers.
Make a lot of cheeseburgers. They're making some cheeseburger, and we make quite a bit of cheeseburgers here. Like I said, it's doesn't look anything at all like the one in Chicago. We actually have windows. People come in there and go, like, this can't be Billy Goat. But it is, and there's actually a picture of the in the 2002 when the ball's coming down and the fan reaching over taking the ball.
Yeah.
The curse continues.
Yeah. What do you got up here? Let's take a look at some of the stuff
This
you
is
got.
the original shit in '78 when Bellucci was behind the bar. This is actually behind the bar at Billy Goat's when he's doing the cheeseburger thing.
Yeah.
Here's another article. This is Bill Murray when he was over here. They used to frequent Billy Goat's all the time. They came in just about all the time, and they're regular customers. There's a couple of the guys at Billy Goat's, a little skip from these guys.
Yeah.
And over here we got some other. Here's a picture of the goat and Billy, actually, as they and Sam is actually this is the goat that they used in 2002 that they tried to lift the curse of the Billy Goat when Wrigley's son said, if we walk the goat around the bases, will this lift the curse? And Sam says, not until you apologize to the goat. There's no way we're lifting the curse. And as you know, in the 9th inning, they were up 3-2, and the guy hit the ball down the alley, and the guy went to catch it, and the fan reached over and caught it. Now, whether that's a curse or whether it's not, here you have it.
So Sam, we see Sam all over the place. He's the uncle of the fellow who runs this, right?
He's Sam. Sam's actually the president of the company. Billy is actually Sam's son.
Oh, son.
Sam was the nephew of the original Billy Goat.
Oh, so one big family, Sianis family.
It's 3 generations of Sianises. Here's another picture we got over here, guys, of Mike Royko. This is him and Sam sitting at the bar. This is the guy that was the famous.
Sam's hair is dark.
Sam was dark back then. Sam had dark hair back here.
Yeah, Royko. I can see him down there, but I don't believe the coffee. That's the thing that surprises me.
I don't think they got the coffee from there anyway. Then up on the wall, we got a lot of Chicago things up there. We actually have something by the White Sox. I think that's a mistake, but
get the president in here. How you guys doing?
There's a picture of the actual Billy Goat right there, the guy with the chin, and there's the Billy Goat and the original goat that was up there too.
Got the goat drinking some beer or something?
Yeah, and the goat actually in 1935, the goat actually lived basically in the bar because they were in there all the time. The goat would drink beer and he'd walk around, he'd eat everything in the place. And,
yeah, you couldn't get away with that now. Picture of Ditka up there. See
yeah,
that?
there's Ditka and there's Hillary and just about everybody's up here.
Great. Well, it makes everybody feel at home there from Chicago.
Absolutely.
That's great. Thanks, Fletch.
Diet Coke? Okay, double cheese.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Coke, you say? No Pepsi, right?
Pepsi.
No Pepsi.